We recommend listening to the CW Pod with a glass of Steeple Ridge Bourbon. Grown, distilled, well-rested, and bottled in Erling, Iowa. Now from the Channel Seed Studios, this is the CW Pod, fueled by Steeple Ridge.
What's up? Welcome to CW Pod here on Iowa Everywhere. We are recording this at about 4 o'clock on the 17th, so Wednesday afternoon, 4 o'clock. Just to keep this so we don't get dated for you. We're presented as always by our friends at Steeple Ridge Bourbon. I am holding a bottle of the cask strength. This is the special edition Iowa Everywhere Barrel Select. Those of you who are watching on the stream, that's the only way to watch CW Pod. Look at that. It's engraved, the Iowa Everywhere logo right there in the bottle. This is the good stuff right here. This is the real good stuff. I said that, not our friends at Steeple Ridge. Don't want you to get mixed up. All right, couple topics I'm going to touch on, and then I'm going to bring in my buddy Ted Flint from Twitter, and we're going to do some NFL gambling for the upcoming weekend to break this thing down. Ted recently placed in the Circa Millions, which was freaking awesome. We had 3 entries with the Iowa Everywhere group, and all of our entries were 350 of like 6,000. So it's actually quite incredible that we all did as well as we did. And Ted got in the money. So we'll talk to him about that. But then I also want to look ahead at the lines for this weekend's playoff games and talk some NFL. Before we do that, a little sports media here. As I was just reading before we came on the numbers for those of you who have listened, fascinated by how many people were pissed off last week about that game being on Peacock. Didn't really faze me. I fully expect it in 2024. This was not a one-time cash grab by the NFL. It was by Peacock, but what this was the NFL. So why would the NFL put its best game behind a paywall last weekend? A lot of people were really pissed. They're calling them greedy. I'll tell you why they were doing it. And it's because of this number that recently came out. 23 million is the number of people that supposedly watched this game. And what the NFL was doing is the exact same thing that the Big Ten is doing right now by putting some games on Peacock. And that, all these Big 12 basketball games that are on ESPN now, they're doing 2 things. One, they're tiptoeing to get us all acclimated to watching games this way. But more importantly, for the NFL, they can now take that number, 23 million, the next time they do a TV rights deal and say, hey, Apple, look at what Peacock was able to pull for an NFL game. Hey, Amazon, we know you're investing $1 billion in this thing, but look what you do if you get into the playoffs. Look, they're showing that these numbers are possible. So actually, they probably left money on the table. The NFL did, but it's a long-term play for them to be able to prove it. And that's a massive number. 23 million for streaming. I mean, come on. Like football national championship here, from what I saw. So that I just want to take a little time to talk about that. This was not, Peacock was obviously acting in its self-interest. That's NBC Universal, by acquiring new customers. A lot of people likely subscribe to that. They won't all stick. Many of them will. Oh, I can watch WWE on here. Or I can watch the old Office episodes or whatever, and they're going to keep their subscription, and that's a cash grab, sure, but they paid for it. They have the rights. They have the right to do that. Now the NFL can take that number and say, look at what we did. This is all setting us up for a day where these cable bundles are no longer a thing. I didn't even think twice about it, but man, there were a lot of people pissed off about it. Guys, at the end of the day, to say about those Pac-12 schools that wanted to cash the checks, but then they were pissed off when they had all their 9 o'clock kicks, right? This is why. You want to give them your rights, they can do whatever the hell they want with it. And the NFL just keeps growing. It's always been big business. Now it is, monumental business. Be really interesting. When they keep pulling numbers like this, it's like, what's the point in, having these smaller television contracts? We'll see. But that's why. And now they take it and they sell it and they make more money down the stretch. But that's a huge number. Also wanted to do a little milestone update for you. This shows you how much we focus on these things. Is we were supposed to announce that last Monday's Two Guys Named Chris was our 500th episode at Iowa Everywhere, and we forgot. That's the most Two Guys Named Chris. Yeah,
great work.
Intern Aiden made up a neat little graphic. And hassle thing ever. Because Van Winkle was so excited.
Did he mention it before the show?
Yes, multiple times.
Okay. That makes me feel better about it.
Multiple times he mentioned it. He mentioned it over the weekend in our text chain. He mentioned it when he sent out the email with the link to the show.
Good.
He mentioned it before the show. And we still got to put it out there.
I had been keeping an eye on it since it was at like 480 or something like that. And I was like, keep my fingers crossed that it would land on a Two Guys Named Chris episode because I knew I could count on you guys to mention
it. We did not. I just wanted to thank everybody. It doesn't really mean anything other than we've done 500 shows, but it is kind of crazy. It feels like it was just yesterday when this idea was born. And now we have a full-time employee.
Thanks.
Which is intern Aiden over there. He's the lone full-time employee. And we haven't added a show for a while, but we have a really great roster of shows, and we just appreciate it. This isn't easy. This local media thing is really hard stuff. I always joke that I'll probably die in my 50s because of the career path that I've chosen. Listen, it could be a heck of a lot worse, right? There's a lot worse careers, but this is not easy to do, going up against all these conglomerates and whatnot. But the reason we're able to do it is because we have awesome listeners who are very loyal to us, and we have great sponsors. So thanks to our friends at Channel Seed, they came on basically from day one to support us. And also, this show is presented by my buddy Pat over there at Steeple Ridge Bourbon. He's a big listener, and this is the best damn bourbon you can get. It's incredible. Everything that goes into a bottle of Steeple Ridge is made out there on Pat's farm, which is really cool. That's what I really like about it. The Lonely Oak Distillery. So buy yourself a bottle and support one of our great advertisers here. We like to call them partners at Iowa Everywhere. So I want to bring in Ted Flint. He hails from the state of Kansas. He joins me right now on the CW pod. He's wearing his Circa Millions hat. What are you, you're just a walking billboard now?
It is
in the top 100.
This hat is so uncomfortable. I'm gonna take it off in like 2 minutes.
What is it with uncomfortable hats on Iowa Everywhere?
It's the first time I put this thing on. I told you I just found it in a closet. So I'm like, I'll never wear this hat. Like, where would you wear this hat to? Like, in what function would you be like, I'm gonna put this
right now?
I guess right now. So, also, when you die at 50, do I inherit the podcast?
Sure. Go for it. It's all yours. When I'm dead, I can promise you I'm not going to care.
All right. I'm going to get my lawyer on that. But
you got a lawyer?
Yeah, we got one in TGS.
Oh,
he
nice.
He doesn't like us saying that because he's not actually our lawyer, but he's a lawyer.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I want to break down this weekend's NFL games with you and talk some storylines there. But you did. I kind of referenced it earlier. You placed in the top 100 of millions, which is awesome. Here's what's crazy too. So you beat me by what? 3 games?
Yeah,
4 games?
Yep.
What's so wild about it is you and me were keeping track of each other the whole time. I placed in the 300s. You were in the top it just razor thin margins. So like you went 3-2 that last week, and we were thinking would be in. But had you gone 2-3, what would you have finished? Like
116. 116.
Yeah, so you're out. I mean, you're talking like one game
from 58 to 116.
How many games back were you of the winner?
I think those guys are like 6 on me. That guy was on a heater. He ended up like 59 and something, or he won a lot. And I went on a heater that last 5 weeks. The only reason I was in it, like I finished 10th in the quarter that week or whatever.
Did you have a process?
Oh, buddy, my process is such garbage. Like I don't know if I want to put it out there because everyone's going mad. Like so basically, like I just take all this information I can find on like CBS Sports, Athletic, The Ringer, podcast, and like I listen to what everyone says and then what they say, and then like I just literally put it all in my head. And before I go to bed on Wednesday night or Thursday night, if I'm not in the Thursday game, I just whatever my gut says, I toss them in and I go to bed. That's it.
I thought you were going to say that alcohol was involved.
There were 3 times that I did not remember making my picks. And in those 3 weeks, I think I went 4-0-1, 3-2, and 4-1. But you can't count on that.
So I paid for the extra days to be able to submit on Saturday.
Right.
And I almost wish I wouldn't have done that, because I feel like I kind of outthought myself a few times.
Well, I bet you did. You pick the Panthers when Lawrence went out, Jags versus Panthers, and that was like a real big pick. Everyone was on the Panthers, and beat hard. Beathard played, and they kicked the shit out of him. Were you on the Panthers that week?
I don't remember, but I was on the Panthers enough to regret it. I can promise you that, because that's how I play these things. I like to just basically take points. Like that's how I've always done the NFL. I play as many ugly underdogs as possible, and I actually felt like it kind of hurt me this year, where I still had a really good year. I mean, I was like 15 games over 500 or whatever it ended up being, or 14 or whatever, but it felt like a lot of those weeks where it was like, just play the 49ers, or play the Cowboys, and they just beat the shit out of bad teams. They did that a lot.
I bet favorites, and because I have so many just spreadsheet friends, they broke it down. I hit favorites at like a 60% hit.
That's wild. Because usually that strategy is not a good one over the course of 18 weeks.
No, like I said, like you said, there's 5,273 people in this contest. I assume they're pros. I assume they take this a lot more serious than like I was doing it, Mm-hmm. So like the fact that I finished in the top 60 is just crazy to me against
It's
people,
awesome. This is
it's
the highlight of your life.
Well, I still got to go to Vegas and get the money. So, I mean, it's, I got to figure that out. I mean, they're the worst problem. So, all right, I was 34, 16, and 2 at picking favorites.
That's really good. How many of those were on the 49ers and Cowboys? I'm just curious.
I went 10-0 betting on the Niners. They broke this all down to me. These guys, I love these guys. They're like, I don't have the brain like that.
I need one of these guys, man.
Yeah, I had a whole channel.
This is phenomenal.
I have a whole channel. They saw my deranged thoughts through the entire season. But I went 10-0 on the Niners, 8-0 when I bet them, 2-0 when I bet against them. And I bet against them on the Ravens, and I don't remember the other one, but it was there at the end of the year. So, yeah, 10-0 on the Niners this year.
Well, we'll get into them. I think that's one of the interesting games. You want to just start right there?
Sure, yeah, because, I can't wait to not watch this game because I am hosting 5 12-year-olds and my son for a movie marathon night in my house alone.
What movies are you showing?
It's him. It's his choice. He's going to put them together. He's putting together a whole set
Any
list.
movie he wants, you're playing.
Yeah. I mean, I'll check it out, but he's seen radar movies. So, I mean, I think he's good. He's going to pick.
What if he brings like softcore pornographic?
Are you
going to let these boys
I check
watch?
what little Ted. I check what little Ted is going to watch. I'm a big movie person, unlike you. So I have a pretty good idea of like what's in these.
Why
movies.
would you watch movies when sports are on? That doesn't make any sense to me.
I'm raising a little movie nerd. Like last year I did this and I had 6 of them plus him. And I was upstairs watching the Giants just kick the shit out of the Eagles kick the shit out of the Giants. I walked down and these kids were having what they called quiet fight club in my living room. They all had their shirts off. They're all their shirts off. They're covered in welts. And like they had brackets for losers and winners. And they're just having at it. And I stared at these 7, 11-year-olds and I go, no blood. And I just walked back upstairs
So
and started
like
watching.
did you get any parents being like, what the hell happened to my kid when he was at your house?
Dude, I live in such a sports ball town. Like they probably happy these kids are kicking the shit out of each other, honestly. Like
Dude's right.
I'm the unicorn here. You know, I'm the one that are like, why did you watch that at Teddy's dad's house? That's me. So,
Okay.
but yeah, the Niners are on that night. I hope they can watch some of it. And I hate that everyone's on the Packers. I hate it.
Well, is everybody on the Packers?
It's the trendy pick in the research that I've been doing.
My gut was to fade the Packers here because everybody is hot on them. Like that's just what my gut told me. And I mean, how many
So yeah, as a 9.5-point favorite.
But how many times have we seen this 49ers team just beat the hell out of somebody at home?
I mean, I hope so. 9.5 is a lot of freaking points. Both those games on Saturday are 9.5-point spreads, right? So like,
if everybody's on the Packers, I'm looking at the Action Network right now, and that is not correct.
I said the research I do. Like,
okay,
trust me, our boy Voss hates that I go against the numbers on Action. It drives him nuts. Like I go against the numbers all the time.
Well, they're at plus 4%. So I mean, the Packers are getting more action at this point. So I mean, if our theory is right, then that number should go down a little bit if you want to play because I will probably play the 49ers here, I think, but I don't want it to get to 10 because that's a terrifying.
Oh yeah,
that's a terrifying change. So we're saying we should probably put something down on the 49ers now, and then hope that it drops again, and you can put a little bit more down later.
Or just bet over 50.5 and not worry about it. There's going to be points in this game. This is going to be like 34, 31, 34, 27 get you there. Like, I mean, both teams I bet score 3 touchdowns minimum, if not more.
Boy, this Jordan Love, you know, it really chaps my ass as a Vikings fan, how the Packers can just continue to. But that's the luxury of when you have one guy for 10, 15 years, you can draft his replacement and just groom him. It's not like my team where it's like, shit, every 3 years you're bringing in somebody new. I'm trying to think of all the Vikings quarterbacks. All right, Rich Gannon, Wade Wilson, Warren Moon, Jim McMahon, Jeff George, Dante Culpepper, Case Keenum, Teddy Bridgewater.
I mean, I'm a Bears
Kirk
fan,
Cousins,
man.
Matt Castle, Donovan McNabb. Yeah, if you're a Bears fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm a Bears fan, but look at this little shit little Teddy got me for Christmas. Look at this shirt.
Look at this guy.
I open this present and he looks at me and goes, "What? You get more upset when the Niners lose than the Bears?"
It is nice having Brock there because it gives you that second team. And it is funny because I went up to that Monday Night Football game in Minneapolis and I thought it would be hard for me to root against Brock. It totally wasn't. He was getting sacked and I was cheering. Like, I learned very quickly that I'm a cheer for the laundry type guy more, even when I know the freaking quarterback. Like, I was still hoping that he would lose.
I think it'll be real interesting for me when the Bears get good, where my loyalties fall.
You think they will get good? You think they'll make the right decisions here?
I don't know, man. Like I wrote an article. Like I'm just more of a hoodie fan. Like I just root for the Bears. I'm not gonna like try to like sweat like this. I mean, they should probably keep Fields because I hate Caleb Williams. I think that's stupid. I think he's a punk. I don't want him. I want Drake May. So
the problem is then you're gonna have to pay him more, and it's all about cap space. Where if you trade him, then you could get a quarterback at the rookie level again. But I understand your point. Like I think I would rather have Fields if it's just the quarterback too. It's just the aspect of the salary cap, which
but if you build around Fields and he fails, you should be able to get a good free agent then next year, right? That's how you kind of look at that. And I know that's dumb, but anyways, look at this Niners thing. I'm pulling it up right now. What is the Niners over team points? I like that. What's that? 30.5. That's a lot. I kind of like it. That's a lot.
Just play the total. if that's what you like. All right, so there we are on that game. I like the 49ers. I don't want it to get to 10. I don't necessarily think it will. But I get it. Like, the Packers are really good. They're a live dog. There's no doubt in my mind.
Right.
But I'm a big proponent of just fading when everybody gets all hot and bothered about one squad. And,
right. And there is rust.
And people are kind of down on the Niners a little bit. Like, they're not nearly as high on them as they were before that Ravens game.
Yeah. And they all want Brock to fail. I mean, not all, but a good chunk, right? Like that little stat, everyone that's left is a first-round quarterback but him, right? So, like, yeah, like I get it. Like, everyone thinks the Packers are going to win, and they think it's the better TV dollars. They want the Packers in the Super Bowl, probably. I would assume, or made of Lions. Maybe that's about it, right? They sure as shit don't want the Bucks there.
Texans, Ravens, that's the first game of the weekend. This line is at 9.5 right now. You have to take the points here, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is like a no-brainer to me to just – I think the Ravens will win, but you have to take the points.
I don't get this line. I don't get this line at all. I get it that I think they played in week 1 and Baltimore kicked the shit out of them, but, like, that was Stroud's first game.
First game.
So, yeah, I'm not going to bet against CJ Stroud. I'm mad that I didn't bet against him the last week of the season and it cost me $10,000 the damn circuit thing. So I picked the Bears instead. So, like, you can't go get CJ Stroud right now. I get it's in Baltimore. I don't know what the weather's looking like.
What is the weather? Is it bad?
I don't know yet. Like, I can check real quick. But I just can't imagine 9.5. I don't get why that's so high. I don't get it. I guess
if you like the Texans, you should probably bet on them because most of the action's coming in on them right now.
I guess the last 2 games the Ravens played were Miami and Niners, right? When they really played. And they kicked the crap out both of them. So
he's not great as a favorite, though, I want to say.
No, he's not.
I don't have the data in front of me, but I don't think that Jackson's great as a favorite. Texans are not winning this game, but that's too many points.
I hope they win this game.
Well, that'd be fun. But, by the way, I know you're a Purdy honk. You've got a 49ers shirt on. Lamar Jackson.
It's all little Teddy. Don't get mad at me.
Lamar Jackson's the MVP.
Yeah.
I don't know how anybody could argue that at this point.
Only thing you could even say is Josh Allen. I think they have pretty good close number.
You take either one of those guys out of those, and those teams are just completely different.
So as a favorite, he is 31-33, 40%. Yes, spread.
I wonder about a favorite of more than a touchdown, what that would go to. You have all this data?
You Google it. It's right there. You have this computer on your fingertips that you can just look up stuff. As a quarterback, he's 43-34 against the spread. So as a favorite, he's less.
Yeah,
by 5%.
All right, so we'll fade the Ravens.
Maybe the over. That seems like a low number for those two teams, but I guess
what is it with you and all these overs? You're an unders guy.
In college, I am. I just feel like it gets sideways here. The overs went pretty well this past weekend, right? I think they hit.
The two games I like the most to bet on, I have already bet on, and they are the Sunday games. And I don't do this very often, but I'm on 2 favorites here. I pounded the Lions at 6. This is at 6.5, 7, depending on where you bet right now. And then I pounded the Bills at 2.5. This game has gotten to 3. I have more of an opinion on the Bills Chiefs. I love the Bills here. I think that this is another deal where we all watched the Chiefs last week, and we watched them play that soft-ass team from Miami, and we're like, oh, the Chiefs are back. No, they're not.
So I'm not a fan of that.
They were never winning that fucking game. They were toast.
Yeah.
The Bills, are the Bills not the best team in football right now? Maybe the Ravens right there, but like, for real, those are the 2 best teams in football right now, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine you see that or Niners are hiding out there, but yeah, the Bills. I'm excited for Bills, even though they tuck a freaking punt return against Miami. That team was dead in South Florida until that punt return, right? So,
but it's still hard to beat them in Miami, right? Like, so credit where it's due.
Absolutely. But yeah, I like the Bills minus. I mean, I think they're going to blow them out. This is Patrick Mahomes' first road playoff game ever. Can you believe that? Ever.
That's insane.
Outside of the Super Bowls, if you count the Super Bowls as away games.
That's insane.
Yeah.
And these playoff atmospheres are different. Like, he's won in good atmospheres before, but like Buffalo and the divisional round of the playoffs is unlike anything he's seen.
Yeah, and the weather's not supposed to be terrible. Like 30s, I think I saw. There's no snow or anything, so like that's not going to be a factor after what both these teams played in this past weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, we're completely overreacting to what Kansas City did against that Miami team. That Miami team had no chance in that game.
None. They didn't beat a team with a winning record this year. I don't think they beat a team with a winning record last year, except the Bills in Week 3. Like they're a fun story. Everyone loves their coach, but that's why I'm not a Miami Dolphins fan anymore, because it's what they do. They disappoint you, and you hate your life. And
so that's what I'm supposed to do, is just quit being a Vikings fan then, because that's all I know is pain.
I told myself I'd rather be miserable with other Bears fans in my area than be miserable as a Dolphins fan by myself.
It's not bad. And then I'm also, so you're on the Bills with me.
Oh yeah, I want Josh Allen to win the Super Bowl so all these Kansas City fans can shut the hell up. They hate him so much. They hate that man.
Why? Like, he's never beaten them. Why did they hate him so much?
I think it's just because people compare him to Mahomes, and there are a lot of Jayhawk fans, and they just can't handle anyone being near Mahomes, and they get upset. That's all it is. Because Mahomes is their god, so how dare anyone be close to his skill set? But Mahomes could have done that 51-yard run last week. No chance.
I'm also on the Lions. This is up to 7 in some spots. You can still grab a 6.5. Now, this is normally one where I would jump on the dog because the Lions, I believe, are probably overinflated after their who the hell did they beat? They shouldn't have won.
They should have won. Beat the Rams.
Yeah, Rams covered, which is all that matters. That's why it was a blind spot for me.
Made me some money.
The Lions' offense wasn't really great. Like, they really didn't do anything the entire second half of that game. I just don't think the Bucs are that good. Like, the Eagles crashed and burned. They lose 5 of 6 or 6 of 7, whatever it is, to end the year. And I don't know. Like, this is an easier game for the Lions by any measure.
It's still 6 at DK, so you definitely need to look around and get it under 7. But also, like, I saw something the other day was like Baker Mayfield needs to sit out this game to like for his contract talk for next year. Like, nothing good comes from him like losing this game horribly. Like, he just needs to be like a player going pro. Yep, I'm done. Look what I did there. I beat the Eagles. Give me $100 million for 4 years.
He has been really good though. Yeah.
He's been good in the NFC South, man.
Well, that's my thing. Like, eventually this comes back to get him, right? Like, that's why I'm on the Lions here.
Oh yeah, I think they get blown out. I don't think it's close. I think this gets us a Niners-Lions championship game. I hope we get a Baltimore Bills championship game. Like, I sound like an asshole not picking for Cinderellas, but give me those 4 teams. Let's go.
So I think we agree on 3. Are you on the Packers or the 49ers then?
I'm just probably going to touch the total. I don't like that 9.5. I don't like a 10. I could see this being like a 7-point game. I'm afraid it's going to be closer than we think, right? There's a lot of pressure on the Niners. There's nothing on the Packers.
I also just wonder, though, the Packers, it's been and maybe this is where they get bit. I don't know. I just wonder. You know what maybe you should do, Ted? How about a 3-team where we just go money line parlay? Or we could tease the Ravens, 49ers, and Lions.
Oh, I bet that would pay. I bet that's positive juice. Let me see if I can pull it up here real quick. But yeah, I mean, I think I might do a half
such a sucker's play, but I don't think any of those 3 teams are losing.
Well, it drops them down to 3, right? And then Lions money line, basically. If you get it at 6, it's a 6-point teaser.
The Texans would be the one that I think could pull off the upset the most. I would go Texans, Packers, Buccaneers. In that order of realistic upsets. Am I wrong?
Oh, I think Packers are one, and I hate it.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I hate it. They have more. Like Stroud only has Nico Collins anymore down there, man. Like you got all those young buck wide receivers and tight ends the Packers reloaded on because God hates the Bears and Vikings, and the Packers are just going to continue to be good and young and awesome. I guess.
I don't even want to hear it. The Vikings are so screwed. This is going to be the best division in football for the next 5 years. And the Vikings aren't. Here's the problem. I wish they sucked. I wish they sucked. This is the time to rebuild. But they're just good enough where they're going to go 9-9. This is a story of my effing life. 10-8. Look at this. Lions, we all know what they are right now. They're up and coming. Packers are going to be the sexy team everybody's all over in the offseason.
Then you got the Bears.
I don't know if Aiden could screw up the situation that they're in.
Man, they're bringing back that damn coach, though. Eberflus? Guy's a
Eberflus?
Whatever the hell his name is. I couldn't pick him out of a lineup. And that's just so dumb. So stupid. Like, Jim Harbaugh's out there looking for a job, and you're not even going to, entertain it. Right? Belichick.
Oh, I'd cut that guy in a heartbeat and go get Harbaugh.
Yeah, they're just stupid. They're bringing in the offensive coordinator that made Lamar Jackson want to leave Baltimore, possibly. Like, what are they doing? It's great.
Do you know what I would kill to have one top 5 draft pick? The Vikings have had one in my entire lifetime, and they took that shitty tackle from USC who was a total flap, Matt Khalil. Remember him?
I remember him. He was on the Bears for a bit.
We are good at drafting mid-round wide receivers, though. Moss, Addison, Jefferson. What was Jefferson? 7th pick, something like that.
Yeah. Because the Pitt missed him, right? Or someone. Patriots didn't get him, right? It was somebody that took a wide receiver. Anyways, the Bears.
It was Pittsburgh. They took Jalen Reagor.
I think that was the Eagles.
Oh yeah,
it was the Eagles. Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Philadelphia. It's all the same. You know what you should do with those boys on Saturday night? Show them the Rocky movies.
Oh, Gavin's seen him on my oldest. He's seen them all. He loves them. So, be interesting. I'm sure they're going to pick a horror movie or an action movie or something. I'm sure. They're that's what they're going to do. They're 12-year-olds. Or they're going to try sneaking some shit that has tits in it. Pass me. Can I say that? Can I say that on this?
Say whatever you want. We're sponsored by whiskey.
But yeah, I've seen the Bears get 2 number 1 draft picks since I became a fan of the Bears 3 years ago. So that's nice.
How do you just wake up one day and be like, I'm going to cheer for this team?
I wrote a series of articles on them. I had the one where I quit being a Dolphins fan because of what they did to you. The Vikings are doing to you right now where it's always 8-8 every year. You can't ever do anything. It's always 8-8. They're not going to ever get a good draft pick. Then I had a year where I just didn't like any teams, and it was great. But then I missed people. And to be frank, you have too many asshole Hawkeye fans on the Vikings bandwagon. I can't be a Vikings fan.
Interesting.
That's what it came down to. The most vocal asshole Vikings fans are also kind of Hawkeye fans. Not you, of course.
Not me.
You're good.
I am an asshole.
But Hassel's a Bears fan, so maybe I shouldn't say that.
And he's a giant asshole too.
Yeah, rhymes it. Print the merch. But yes, give us the Niners. Give us the Niners Lions, man. That'd be a fun game. Montgomery or Brock in the Super Bowl, no matter what.
I want Brock. I mean, just you think about the 2 weeks leading up to it and all the great stories that'll be told about him like that. I mean, Montgomery too. But just when you're the quarterback, it's a different level.
Oh yeah.
Frankly, I'm going to be real honest too. The Lions are a cute story. I don't know if I could handle them being in the Super Bowl, and I've never seen the Vikings in a Super Bowl like that. That's really hard stuff.
This is where me being new to the conference helps.
The Lions are the one franchise that I consistently can say they are below me. Right?
Can you say that now?
No. That's why I just don't know if I can stomach them being in a Super Bowl. They've been the poverty program in the NFC North for so long that
Aiden was -10 when they last won a playoff game. -10 Aiden was.
That's incredible. in fact, here's what's funny. So intern Aiden here, we kind of share an office now, and I was telling him about I was trying to teach him about Razor Ramon earlier today.
Yeah.
And I showed him some Razor like vignettes and stuff on YouTube, and then I showed him Razor's / Scott Hall when he was in WCW, and Aiden goes, "When was that?" And I was like, "I don't know, 99." When the NWO was born in 96, but this was like 99, the video, and he wasn't even born yet.
I do a podcast with a 30-year-old. I get it. It hurts. It hurts sometimes. So we're gonna discuss the Royal Rumble at all. You said we're gonna talk about it. I don't know what.
Yeah, we can hit on the Royal Rumble real quick. So that's coming up, what, a week from Saturday, right?
27th, I
Yeah.
think.
CM Punk's going to win it, isn't he?
Oh,
He's going
probably.
to challenge Seth Rollins, because then you've already got The Rock, who's going to be fighting Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Is that how this is going to go?
Yeah, and Cody Rhodes is never going to win that belt.
Good.
Never going to happen. Just going to – I hope that he never does anything good over there, so then they can be like, why would you want to go there? Why would you want to leave our company?
And
I'm a hater.
you're speaking of the AEW,
Yes, the premier wrestling company.
Are they just – let me ask you this. So I've been really into them, and I really got into them when Punk went over there, and then Punk left, and he's back in WWE now. AEW slowly just turning into the old WCW now, like in its latter day.
Maybe. I think they're going to get one of Drew, Sheamus, or Rollins over there next summer.
I don't think Drew McIntyre or Sheamus would move the needle at all.
They
Rollins
need
would.
Rollins would. Oh, and if you have Rollins, you're probably getting Becky. Like, they need to back up the truck for both those two. Like $20 million a year, whatever it is. Like, whatever it takes.
Is Rollins at the point in his career where it's like, what else can I do here? I need to leave to take myself to a new level when I come back.
I could see it. Go to New Japan a little bit because he has more flexibility. Like a bunch of AEW people like Moxley and Danielson are over at New Japan right now, wrestling around. So, like, and you have I think his name is something Black is what he goes by when he's not Seth Rollins. I can't think what his first name is, but you have all the built in of Moxley. I don't know. AEW is. It's just nice because I can just I don't know. I get into it and I like the people, but I get it. WWE is the bigger product, and that's fine. Royal Rumble's fun. Punk's going to win it, and it's going to be great. It's going to piss so many people off. I'm here for it.
Yeah, I hope so. Because
you were so mad when he didn't show up at Raw in Des Moines. Like, you were like, once you realized he wasn't going to be there, you're like, I want to leave. You're like, I want to get out of here. I'm ready to go. This is pointless.
Well, I just knew what we were in for, and it was going to be the last show before the holiday where like half the people are there, and it was fine. It was a fine show.
I had fun.
Yeah, we had a good time. I always have a good time at them. It's just you got to like have your expectations for what kind of show it is when it's the last one before.
No,
Christmas.
That's the first time I've ever watched Gunther wrestle, and that dude's a monster.
Yeah, he's a stud.
He's
an impressive specimen when you see him up close like that.
He's a dark horse too. He could win that sucker.
Yeah, but that's not a
I know
headline night. Like, I'm just trying to think. Like,
he'll be the final four. All right, who's your final four? How about that? Who's your final four?
It's Cody Rhodes. It's CM Punk. It is Gunther.
And
maybe Drew. Maybe one of the Usos. I don't know. It's got to be somebody who would make sense at the end for them to, to pair you up with somebody. I don't know.
Someone that's trapped to the moon, basically, right?
Yeah. Those three for sure.
Right.
Guaranteed.
I'll be interested if the reaction is if Punk knocks Rhodes out, like in the stadium, wherever it's at, right? I don't know.
Well, did you see that Punk called him out on social media today?
Right. I thought they were going. Did they not talk on Raw this week? I thought they were having a face-to-face. Or is that next week?
No, that's next week.
Okay. So, I'm Team Cody Rhodes. I just hope he never wins because
you're all about the baby faces.
Man, no, I'm not. I like MJF. He's not babyface. So,
just kidding.
I know you are. Look at you all in your cardigan and your button-up shirt.
Dude, it's freezing here. I had a stocking cap on, and Aiden made me take it off.
Aiden's boy making fun of you because you look like a grandpa.
I'm okay with this, Ted. I have nothing to prove to anybody at this point in my life.
You see how gray this beard is? I'm not proving anything to anybody.
Yeah, zero shits. God, we've gotten old. All right, brother. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we can come back anytime, Super Bowl, whatever you want to talk about, man.
Yeah, we'll do Super Bowl. But well, we need to work on massaging this and maybe do a little more gambling content together next year, because I really have gotten into the NFL. I used to pretty much exclusively do college, and the college is too freaking hard for the first half of the year. It's stupid. You don't know unless you're a total, just immerse yourself in the portal and coaching change it. There's too many moving parts. You can find value, but it's really hard. What I like about the NFL, it's like playing blackjack instead of craps, right? I know the odds are against me, but I still I feel like I have a much better shot here for like a fair contest compared to the college game. They don't have to do the injuries. All these coaches are just big liars. They just lie all the time. And in the NFL, they can't do that. And that's what I appreciate about it from a gambling perspective.
Did I tell you I never made a single bet on any of my picks for the contest? Because I didn't want my juju on them. I just made the picks. I felt like if I made the bet also, I was going to put bad juju on it and it would go bad.
See, I doubled mine.
Yeah.
And did pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I wish I bet on them, obviously.
Yeah, you would have you would have made a lot more money.
Right. So, but like I said, it's fun. We can talk about all this stuff. Yeah.
Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
He is Ted Flint. He hails from the state of Kansas.
Enjoy your Werthers.
This is Steeple Ridge Bourbon. Ted, I'll give you a bottle of the Iowa Everywhere edition next time I see you. Look at that. Isn't that sexy?
That is nice.
Courtesy of our friends at Lonely Oak Distilling. Appreciate Channel Seed as well for sponsoring our studio. Aiden Wyatt producing CW Pod here on Iowa Everywhere. We'll be back next week. Enjoy the NFL weekend. We have two guys named Chris coming up on Thursday morning at 8:30, just like always. We'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.